So let's move ahead and take a look at our first topic, which is history of artificial intelligence. So guys, the concept of artificial intelligence goes back to the classical ages. Under Greek mythology, the concept of machines and mechanical men were well thought of. So an example of this is Talos. I don't know how many of you have heard of this. Talos was a giant animated bronze warrior who was programmed to guard the island of Crete. Now, these are just ideas. Nobody knows if this was actually implemented, but machine learning and AI were thought of long ago. Now, let's get back to the 19th century. Now, 1950 was speculated to be one of the most important years for the introduction of artificial intelligence. In 1950, Alan Turing published a paper in which he speculated about the possibility of creating machines that think. So, he created what is known as the Turing test. This test is basically used to determine whether or not a computer can think intelligently like a human being. He noted that thinking is difficult to define and devised his famous Turing test. So basically, if a machine can carry out a conversation that was indistinguishable from a conversation with a human being, then it was reasonable to say that the machine is thinking, meaning that the machine will pass the Turing test. Now, unfortunately, up to this date, we haven't found a machine that has fully cleared the Turing test. So, the Turing test was actually the first serious proposal in the philosophy of artificial intelligence. Followed by this was the era of 1951. This was also known as the game AI. So, in 1951, by using the Ferranti Mark I machine of the University of Manchester, a computer scientist known as Christopher Strachey wrote a checkers program, and at the same time, a program was written for chess as well. Now, these programs were later improved and redone, but this was the first attempt at creating programs that could play chess or that could compete with humans in playing chess. This is followed by the year 1956. Now, this is probably the most important year in the invention of AI because in 1956, for the first time, the term artificial intelligence was coined. All right. So the term artificial intelligence was coined by John McCarthy at the Dartmouth Conference in 1956. Coming to the year 1959, the first AI laboratory was established. This period marked the research era for AI. So the first AI lab where research was performed is the MIT lab, which is still running till date. In 1960, the first robot was introduced to the General Motors assembly line. In 1961, the first chatbot was invented. All right, now we have Siri, we have Alexa, but in 1961, there was a chatbot known as Eliza, which was introduced. This was followed by the famous IBM Deep Blue. In 1997, the news broke down that IBM's Deep Blue beats the world champion Garry Kasparov in the game of chess. So this was kind of the first accomplishment of AI. It was able to beat the world champion at chess. So in 2005, when the DARPA Grand Challenge was held, a robotic car named Stanley, which was built by Stanford's racing team, won the DARPA Grand Challenge. There was another big accomplishment of AI. In 2011, IBM's question answering system, Watson, defeated the two greatest Jeopardy champions, Brad Retter and Ken Jennings. So, guys, this was how AI evolved. It started off as a hypothetical situation. Right now, it's the most important technology in today's world. Right? If you look around everywhere, everything around us is run through AI, deep learning, or machine learning. So, since the emergence of AI in the 1950s, we have actually seen an exponential growth in its potential. So, AI covers domains such as machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, natural language processing, knowledge base, expert systems, and so on. It has also made its way into computer vision and image processing. Now, the question here is if AI has been here for over half a century, why has it suddenly gained so much importance? Why are we talking about artificial intelligence now? Let me tell you the main reasons for the demand of AI. The first reason is that we have more computational power now. So, artificial intelligence requires a lot of computing power. Recently, many advances have been made, and complex deep learning models are deployed. And one of the greatest technology that made this possible are GPUs. Right? Since we have more computational power now, it is possible for us to implement AI in our daily aspects. Second most important reason is that we have a lot of data at present. We're generating data at an immeasurable pace, right? We are generating data through social media, through IoT devices, every possible way. There's a lot of data. So we need to find a method or a solution that can help us process this much data and help us derive useful insights so that we can grow businesses with the help of data, right? So that process is basically artificial intelligence. So in order to have a useful AI agent to make smart decisions like telling which item to recommend you next when you shop online, or how to classify an object from an image, AI are trained on large data sets, and big data enables us to do this more efficiently. Next reason is now we have better algorithms. Right now, we have very effective algorithms which are based on the idea of neural networks. Neural networks is nothing but the concept behind deep learning. Since we have better algorithms which can do better computations and quicker computations with more accuracy, the demand for AI has increased. Another reason is that universities, governments, startups, and tech giants are all investing in AI. Okay, so companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, all of these companies have heavily invested in artificial intelligence because they believe that AI is the future. So AI is rapidly growing both as a field of study and also as an economy. So actually, this is the right time for you to understand what is AI and how it works.